teacher, expecting great stuff from a speaker. She enjoys reading and writing, and she also volunteers as a value education teacher for young children. Her speech title, Building Bridges, Not Walls. Let's welcome Aishwarya.
Hello, thank you. I'm happy to be here. And imagine a world where the air we breathe carries hope, not smog, where opportunity knocks on every door, not just a select few, where differences weave tapestry of strength, not fuel flames of hate. This, my friends, is a world we can build together, brick by brick, with shared ideas, envisioned by a shared dream. Right now, we stand at crossroads, burdened by challenges that transcend borders and identities. Climate change whispers warnings, inequality shouts injustices, and division threatens to fracture the very fabric of our humanity. But amidst the chaos, glimmers of hope ignite. They flicker in classrooms where education empowers young minds, in communities where empathy bridges cultural divides, and in our hearts where shared purposes spark collective action. Now, let us share the idea of inclusive education, where every child, regardless of background, has access to quality learning. Imagine classrooms buzzing with diverse voices, teachers igniting the spark of curiosity, and technology bridging the gap between classrooms across continents. This is a world where knowledge empowers, not divides. Education empowers societies to build bridges and understanding. Now I have realized everything is possible with empathy. I have been brought up with the value six human values: equality for all human beings, regardless of background, by birth or descent, truth, peace, love, right conduct, and nonviolence. Now, each of these values hold the power to make the world a better place around us, for us, and by us. So let us step outside our comfort zones and look at the world through the eyes of others and feel their joys and struggles. Let understanding bridge the gap and compassion mend the wounds. When you see humanity reflected in each other, our differences fade and our shared purpose shines through. Now, let us also think about the differences and also think we know that the path to a world is always not easy. It's always under construction. But we, as citizens of the world, have the responsibility of fixing it. Now let us be the weavers, the dreamers, the builders. Let us share our ideas, our compassion, and together, stitch by stitch, thread by thread, weave a world where hope and progress become the very fabric of our reality. There will be misunderstanding, moments of doubts, and setbacks. But let us all remember that the power of shared ideas lies not in its universal acceptance, but in its ability to spark conversation, ignite passion, and inspire action. Now, beyond the walls of my family, friends, and relatives, I'm a teacher. I believe in giving the gift of learning. So, in lieu of that, I'm a part of the program called Help the Helpers. And as the name suggests, it is a program to help the helpers in Singapore. We teach them English and improve their IT skills. So it is a free and all-inclusive education for those who need it. So let us all be the architects for a better tomorrow. Let us amplify the voices of those unheard, seeking inclusivity and justice using our platforms. Seek understanding before judgment. Put yourself in the shoes of others and bridge that empathy gap and empower ourselves, and let us be active advocates for a better tomorrow. But of course, change does not happen overnight, just as Rome wasn't built in a day. So let us come together, collaborate, share our ideas, and write a new chapter in the story of humanity. A chapter that is filled with hope, progress, and passion for a shared and brighter future for all. I would like to end by saying the past is experience, the present is experiment, and the future is expectations. So let us use our experiences in the experiment to make the expectation for a bright and shared future world for all. So are you going to be an architect for a better tomorrow? Are you going to build bridges or walls? Thank you.
Love the energy we got. The next speaker wears many hats. A musician at heart, she is a certified career and life coach and a maestro of emotional and mental fitness. Her mission is to help people feel empowered and in charge of their lives. She believes that our true fulfillment lies not in competing against each other, but in coming together piece by piece to build one magnificent and harmonious masterpiece. The speech title we have, The World of Puzzles. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a warm welcome to Irina.
Dear all, how are you?
Great.
Not too hungry?
Yes.
Yes. My question to you, raise your hand if you've ever done puzzles when you were a child. Do you like to do puzzles?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Since the age of 2, my son was in love with doing puzzles. Something I didn't get a chance to do because I was born in the Soviet Union where we didn't have puzzles. And so I was watching him hours sitting on the floor, throwing the puzzles. Our house was a mess. He would just throw the puzzles all over the place and start to find piece by piece. And when he would find the right puzzle and he would click, he would say, "Mama, look, I found it." And every time I had to do, great job, Sandra. One day, I bought him the piece of the world. And as we were gluing the puzzle together, country by country, I had a thought. And the thought was, what if each one of us represented as a human being one puzzle? What would it mean to be one puzzle as a human being? Would it not mean that we don't need to compete with each other all the time, be like someone else? Be in the central location, I want to be president, I want to be the best in that, the best in this. Wouldn't it mean that we would just embrace the shape, the form, the color that we were born in and just be okay with the location because we perfectly click with other puzzles around? Can you imagine how that would be if 8 billion of us would come as one coherent puzzle? I would like to ask you a question. Who knows how many lines on your finger we have when we put a fingerprint? Is that 1,000? There is a suggestion that it's 66 lines, even though it's much more complex. What I want to tell you that there is a reason why we inherited on each fingers unique lines. Unique to the extent that no one in 8 billion, not even our twins, if we had an identical twin, would have the same line. Yet, it is unique. And let me ask you why? Why? Anita, why do you think it is?
Because each one of us is unique.
Exactly. And if it is so, then why do we want to copy so much just one puzzle? Just because we think they're the most beautiful, most successful, most amazing? And this leads me to my story. I was born in Republic of Georgia. And I had a great family, but a gruesome grandma. She was like explosive. And I was so afraid of her, especially when we would say, "Irina, what did you do?" I would just be small and I would try to do my best to not be punished. But somewhere between lines, I learned my lesson. I better be a pleaser in order to fit in. And so I went through the life, moving from one country to another country, to another country, to another country, thinking that I will fit in here or here or here, while being a pleaser, trying to take all sorts of shapes and forms where people were expecting me to be. Until one day, I became a mother. Now, if you are a parent, raise your hand, please. If you're a parent, keep your hand if you think being a pleaser is a good idea. is the worst idea of all, isn't it? So here I am being a mother, being a pleaser, realizing I cannot be that. And after long contemplation and sitting and figuring out what is my puzzle, it dawned onto me that our hearts have the answer, not our minds that tell us to rush, to shape ourselves, to compete, to be the best, but our hearts know the path to joy, to just relaxing and being who we are, who we want to be. And here I am today in our wonderful room on the World Speech Day, inviting you to embrace the mindset of abundance, to leave the scarcity and fears behind and align as a perfect puzzle, just being as we are. Before I finish, I would like to ask you to raise your hand once again, one last time. Look at your palm. Please do, all of you, because I'm seeing you. You are right here. Please look at your index finger and see those lines. Just for once, tell them thank you for being unique. Thank you for being unique. Great. Thank you for being unique. Just embrace that your lines are unrepeatable, will never be repeated. It's only you. I want to celebrate you and I want to embrace all of you. And I want to finish with my favorite poet's word, Rumi, who said, "You are not a drop in an ocean. You are an entire ocean in one drop." Thank you. Puzzle's good.
No, that was really fast. For the next speaker, I'm really excited and looking forward to his speech. He's a passionate proponent of sustainable energy. He founded an energy firm that helps corporations reach their decarbonization goals. The speech title, Ideas for a Better and Greener Singapore. Let's welcome Mr. Seta Kumar.
A very good morning. How many of us want to save the world from climate change? Raise your hands. How many of us don't know where to start and how to do it? Okay, I'm here going to spend the next 5 minutes sharing my ideas with you on how we can make Singapore and the world a better and greener, Singapore in particular, because Singapore is closer to our hearts. I'd just like to start by sharing my own life journey, most importantly, my work journey. I started about 30 years ago in the power industry. Singapore was mostly using brown natural gas fired, which is highly pollutive and harmful to the earth. I turned 50 years old, 2 years ago, and I decided to change. I was thinking about, what should I do? What do I want to leave a legacy? So, call it a midlife crisis. I decided to form my own company and focus on sustainability and teaching corporates to shift or transition from the way they view energy and use and save energy efficiency methods into their corporate structure. So I decided to start my own company, and I'm now would like to share with you 3 levels, 3 areas or 3 levels where you can do a change or contribute to a better Singapore. 3 levels. First level is at the individual level. Second level is at the national level. Sorry, it's a corporate level, and the third level is the national level. At the individual level, what can you do? I'm very heartened to see now Singapore is carrying plastic bags to NTUC, right? I would like to actually even expand this further, not just to NTUC, to any shop that you want to buy, right? Whether you go for a shop, buy a T-shirt or any purchase, not just NTUC. Please bring non-plastic bag, a cloth bag. I'm surprised Singapore has not, adopted our ban on single-use plastic. I would love to see everybody bring a plastic bag for all purchases. When you go to food, when you shop our bag, please bring a plastic bag, right? That's my goal. And how many of us brought, I have 3 or 4 handphones. A lot of us, right? My daughters have 3 handphones. Some of them stuck in the cupboard for a while. Have you ever wondered how much is the carbon footprint to produce one iPhone, for example? So I Googled up. iPhone 13, for example, needs about 65 kilograms of carbon just to produce one iPhone. And that means roughly 4 to 5 trees breathing or sucking in carbon over 1 year to so-called to make up for that carbon impact. So if you next time when you change your phone, think about like, do I really need that iPhone, right? Or how many iPhones do I have? Do I, you see marketing everywhere, right? Winter season, spring season. Singapore doesn't have winter, spring. So why do you buy another T-shirt, right? Can you recycle? Can you recycle your shoes? So think about that from an individual level, how you can contribute. I know earlier you said, no, let's eat more vegetables and meat, right? That's something to take away as well. And now at the corporate level, I do advisory services on basically solar panels. Singapore is in the equator, one north of the equator actually. So there's a lot of sun, right? And that's the only thing we have. We don't have wind, we don't have tides. So the only natural resource or source of energy that we have is sun. So if you're a corporate owner, right, and you have a rooftop, or if you're a residential area, if you're a rooftop, try and put solar panels. And that's what I tell my clients as well, right? I tell them if you have, do it. And price of solar has come down quite a lot. And that means it's even cheaper than your grid electricity or electricity. So do that. And that's what's changing at the corporate level. They are saying, okay, it's there, all I need to lease it and do it, right? And it's cost effective. So that makes a lot of sense. In terms of national level, I think the Singapore government or Singapore is the first country to adopt carbon tax. So it's a tax that incentivizes. It's a bit of a painful tax, like a medicine, but in the long run, it makes them think that there is a cost to it. You have to make changes to adopt so-called fossil fuel or brown energy like natural gas and coal. So Singapore is now moving or thinking ahead. They're going to green import solar farms from Indonesia or neighboring countries, or even hydrogen, right? So that's a longer path from a national level. I would like to lead all with one part, right? So start your journey to it at the individual level. If you're running corporates or your friends are running corporates, and influence it to change. And eventually, I think Singapore, there is a dirge in learning for Singapore. I'm not sure how many of you heard. It's projected that Singapore's water level will go by 1.1 meters by the end of this particular century. So imagine 1.1 meters somewhere here. And those lying areas, the East Coast, for example, will probably be in danger of existence or being drowned. So Singapore spending is going to spend tens of billions over the next few decades to save Singapore or help make sure that the environment or the houses that we live in is not going to be destroyed. So this is real. We know Singapore is a green and fine city, but we know that. So that has dawned upon a lot of people that the government is spending money to make sure the next generation can enjoy the space and the green that Singapore has. So we want everybody to do their part, starting at your individual level, corporate level, and we know that we have got a government that has policies that help us, protect the way we live. I'd like to leave you with that thought. Do your part in whatever we can to make Singapore longer and survive longer for the next generation.
So quick, any break. Who wants to go to the washroom? Can go now, very quickly. So the next speaker has been with World Speech Day since day one. He's now a grandfather of 4 kids, ex-corporate man, but now an advocate of a healthy lifestyle. His speech title is "We Can Do It." Please welcome Mr. Samuel.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
You see, this is my 8th year participating in this World Speech Day, 8 years. And from day one, we started it until now, and I'm very glad that this tradition continues. So when Dr. Ernest Chen called me about a month ago, Stanley, are you free to give a speech on that day? I said, yes, I almost forgot. Yes, I will be there. But what is the topic? He told me ideas to make the world a better place. So what comes to my mind? Must be volunteerism, protect the earth, right? Drink water, safe, keep the environment clean, all that kind of stuff. Then I would say these topics are all very well covered. But for me, this is the 7th time I'm wearing this T-shirt. I practice a reused. I got this T-shirt on the second World Speech Day, and this is the 8th time. So I'm wearing this shirt 7 times. I carry this every day. I try to avoid using one-per-use plastics. When I go and eat, normally I don't pack it back. I'll just try and do it at the coffee shop or at the food store, finish it and let's go. But these are not what I'm going to talk about today, because these are all very well covered. All of us are very well aware. What I will talk about today is about you and me. See, all these ideas, we can have a lot of fantastic ideas, but who's the one that make it happen? Me and you. And we are the one who make it happen. But in order to make it happen, we must not only be willing, we must be capable. So it's very sad that why I left the corporate world, because I see a lot of sick people around. And in fact, I have one friend who has been in nursing industry, and suddenly she collapsed. So I went to talk to her, I visited her, I talked to her, I said, what happened? He said, I was so focused on looking after all the patients, I forgot to look after myself. So I fall sick. Okay? Suddenly, never look after herself. Then, of course, I start talking about, hey, everybody must look after herself. Then somebody commented, Stanley, not to worry. You know, the World Health Organization published Singapore's expectation, the life expectancy has increased to 83.5 years. We are at one of the top. Huh? So that, of course, gives us the impression of what? Singapore is a very healthy society, right? Very healthy nation. Is it true? No, it's not. I just give you an example of my mother-in-law. He was admitted to ICU about a month ago. Then because of some emergency, and then she waited 4 hours for a bed. Imagine that, 4 hours for a bed. And yet we are supposed to live until 83.5 years. And yet she got to wait for 4 hours for a bed. Why? Because hospitals are loaded with a lot of patients. And yet we are supposed to be a very healthy nation, and we are not. It's just that we have a very robust health system. If you go and pay a visit to Tan Tock Seng, you see they converted the car parks to wards. All the kind of things happening. You know, and then when I think about all this, then I recall one doctor ever shared with me. He said, do you know there are two kinds of patients in the hospital? I said, what do you mean two kinds of patients? He said, one type is less than 10% are people who have genetic issues, genetics, or accidents. They're in hospital. More than 90% of the patients are there because of metabolic issues. I said, what do you mean? Metabolic issues. That means from what? This is a Chinese idiom, 病从口入, from the food we take. This is the one, from the food. In Chinese, illness through the mouth. So what we put into our mouth will decide what happened to us. And the Chinese, if you understand Chinese culture, Chinese are so brilliant, so brilliant. You know about cancer? Cancer, right? Most scary disease. You take a look at the Chinese word. 癌症, 3个口, got 3 mouths there. So what does it indicate to you? This is a Chinese word, but you see, imagine the kind of wisdom they have when they created this word. 3 mouths there. That means when people are suffering from cancer, where does it come from? From here. From here. See? So this is what happened. So after that, I take a look at it. Then I go on this chart. Every disease begins from the cell. Okay? We eat a lot. Every day we eat. In and out we eat. But one question I'd like to ask you, are your cells getting the food? Which is the key. Are your cells getting the food? Chances are our cells are not getting the kind of food we want. Okay? And you got to understand, this one, this is our key. We will make our cells. If you have a very strong cell, you will have a very strong tissue, right? If you have a very strong tissue, that will form the organs. But all the organs will form a very good system. Maybe your respiratory system, your digestive system, lymphatic system, all kinds of system. If you got a very good system, your immune is going to be very high. Then you will be very healthy. You won't fall sick so easily. Okay? So after people realizing this, I need to eat good. I need to eat good, right? I need to eat good food. I need to eat. Very sad thing is, can you get good quality food that's full of nutrition outside right now in this current environment? You take a look at the current situation of the market. If you take a chicken right now, compared to 20 years ago, you know the kind of nutritional value that drops. Don't believe me, you just go and Google. There are a lot of scientific studies, a lot of studies done by UK, by US, by Germany, by France, by a lot of countries, that nutrition's value of the thing that we're taking has dropped over the last 20, 30 years. Don't have to go very far. Who has visited Cameron Island? Cameron Island, ever been there?
Yeah.
When you go to Cameron Island, do you realize that they on all the spotlights in the farm? Why? Why are they doing that? They are using science to cheat nature. Because when they on the light, the vegetables never stop growing. When in normal circumstances, when the sun sets, the vegetable will go in the day when the sun, right? When the sun sets, they will build internally the nutrients that you need. But when the farmers on the light, the vegetables have no time to rest. They just keep growing, and very fast it can go into the market, but inside is all empty. Chickens are the same. In the past, to get a very good chicken, very mature chicken, you need about 8 to 10 months, 8 to 10 weeks. Today, you can get a chicken less than 2 weeks. You know why? They on the light 24 hours. The chicken just eat, keep eating. There's no time to rest. There's no time to manufacture all the nutrients that we need inside. And this is a kind of real food that we are taking every day. So of course, then people start worrying. If that is the case, then maybe I should ask a doctor, what should I do? Ask a doctor, right? No, doctor, I need good food. I need good nutrition. What should I do? And you know, I was very surprised when one doctor shared with me. Just tell me, asking the doctor for what nutrition food to take is the biggest mistake. I say, you're a doctor. Yeah, I'm a doctor. You know what's my duty? My duty and the hospital function is to delay your trip to cremation. Think about it. Okay. Doctor's duty and hospital function is to delay your trip to be cremated. If you want to delay your trip to the hospital, talk to a nutritionist. Talk to somebody who sell good nutritional supplements. They are the right person, not the doctors, not the hospitals. Okay. So because of all this knowledge that I pick it up and because of my own health, I have now focused my time sharing what is good nutrition, what you need to do, because remember this, what we put in your mouth, right, decides what you become. Okay. And this is something that I've been advocating day in, day out. Whenever I go, I tell people, right? I give you one example, because all of us, we tend to take things for granted. One day I saw my friend was eating a bowl of laksa, and he was drinking a cup of kopi o. So I said, buddy, if I pour the kopi o into your laksa and mix together, will you eat? Will you eat? Yuck, I don't think I'll eat. But I said, what are you doing now? You're eating the laksa, later you will drink the kopi o, right? It's all inside of it. Because I cannot see it, it's okay. That is our attitude, right? Whatever we cannot see, it's okay. Let the body handle it. But remember this, right? Remember this, right? Okay. So to summarize my talk, you know, the same nursing friend who has collapsed and recovered eventually, he mentioned something to me. He said, whenever we step out of the house, every morning, every day, when we step out of the house, he said, 2 things we can do. If we are well, we can go anywhere we want. You can go for a tour, you can go for swimming, you can go fishing, you can go shopping, you can have a lunch, you can go anywhere you want. But if you are not well, you step out of your door, what can you do? go hospital, or see a doctor. Okay? So make sure you eat the right food and stay well. You can do it. Eat the right food. So if you don't know what to eat, come and talk to me. I'll share with you what to eat. Have a healthy life so that when you step out the door, you can go anywhere you want. Nothing can stop you. Good to you.
Thank you for reminding us to eat mindfully.
Yes.
We have an interesting speaker coming up. He is a chartered accountant, and Leo is also a passionate globetrotter who explores, who enjoys going cities around the world behind the wheel of the car. And his topic is transform, adapt, or collapse. Let us welcome Nick.
What do dinosaur and Nokia mobile phone mean? Got any idea? Although this question seems to be like unusual or unrelated, even I asked to my young daughter, 10 years old, and she said, Daddy, are you crazy? I know what a dinosaur is, but she have no clue what a Nokia mobile phone is. Okay, if you look deeper, they have a profound similarity. Both dinosaur and Nokia mobile phone, they fail to transform and adapt the ever-changing environment, eventually lead to their own extinction. Dinosaur has been roamed around millions of years ago, dominating the ecosystem with their unparalleled size and strength. Yet, when they face an ever-changing environment, like a climate change, emergence of the new predator, like meteor strike or whatever, they fail to adapt. Their inability to transform themselves eventually lead to their own extinction out of the world completely. Likewise, the Nokia mobile phone, the once a titans of the mobile phone industry. Anyone of you ever carry the mobile phone before? The Nokia mobile phone before. If you carry, you are already the old people. I'm sorry. You know, when they are successful, they have more than 50% of the market share, and Nokia seems unbeatable. Yet, there's a new technology emerge, and the changes in the consumer preference, Nokia failed to keep it up. They eventually out of market in the 2014, and at the time, the CEO of the Nokia mobile phone famously quoted, "We didn't do anything wrong. Somehow we lost." But this loss is not due to their lack of innovation or quality of handset, but it is due to maybe the CEO didn't do anything right. Maybe that might be the reason. When I bought my first mobile phone last 25 years ago, you know what is that? Nokia, definitely. When I turned it on, I was greeted by the message connecting people. If you have a Nokia mobile phone, you will see that. It's a two hand holding together. And then it is a promise that Nokia make to their millions of users around the world that they have a proper communication and a connectivity for them. Yet, they have a lot of mistakes along the way. The first mistake, Nokia focused primarily on hardware, neglecting the importance of the software and the user interface. Although Nokia mobile phones are very reliable, they lack the application that consumer want. You know, there's a saying that if you drop the Nokia mobile phone to the floor, you know what will happen?
Nothing will happen. I don't need that.
No, the floor will break. The floor will break. But maybe that might be the, their bad strategy, because if your phone will never break, you will not replace new one. The second mistake, the Nokia use a closed operating system. They do not allow anyone to write the program for their platform. But like a iPhone or Google Android, if you have a Samsung, they use an open system that anyone can write any application and contribute to their platform, which create a rapid innovation, and the customer satisfaction. Previously, we don't have any choice. If we make the telephone call locally or internationally, we pay to the telco. Even the SMS, they charge like, I don't know now how much, maybe 10 cents, 20 cents. But the innovative application like WhatsApp and the Viber, you can even make the video call to anyone around the world without paying any single cent. This is an application that the consumer want and Nokia lack. And last but not least, Nokia failed to keep it up with the consumer preferences. Although their famous motto of the connected people promise the connectivity, but their competitor like iPhone offer video communication. The late Steve Jobs introduced iPhone in 2007, and he famously introduced 3 devices into one. The iPod, most famous music player at the time, a phone, and an internet communicator. The iPhone not only offer communication and connectivity, but they offer the entertainment, knowledge, and empowerment that the user are never imagined before. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all experienced not long ago, the COVID-19 pandemic, which forces us to the way we live, work, study, and communicate to each other. At the time, the world leader, including the Director General of the World Health Organization, who are going to save us, didn't know what happened. You know the similarity? Like the Nokia, the CEO of the Nokia mobile phone didn't know what went wrong. So we all are very worried. Is it our fate where we like a dinosaur facing the millions of years ago? Or the Nokia mobile phone that happened not long ago? But we all, as a collective effort, we fight back. We listen to our healthcare professionals. We stay at home, socially distant, remote work, virtual learn, and we do whatever we could to adapt the situation. And our healthcare professional is raised again the time to find a vaccine to cure the disease, to transform our life back to normal. With our adaptation and transformation, we overcame the global pandemic within the 2 years' time. This example reminds us that we, as a human being, the whole mankind, always need to transform and adapt to the ever-changing environment, not only for the survival, but pave the way to the better, brighter, and more resilient future for our next generation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I still have the old Nokia 3110 in my drawer.
Betray your age. The next speaker is a global keynote speaker and author of the best-selling book, The End of Procrastination, dedicated to overcoming the habit of putting off tasks and responsibilities. This book has been translated to over 20 languages and sold over 400,000 copies worldwide. Peter is the founder and CEO of Procrastination.com, which employs the latest scientific findings in neuroscience and behavioral economics to help individuals and companies grow. He's here to talk to us about AI and procrastination. Let us give a big welcome to Peter Ludwig.
Lovely to be here. So guys, tell me, who procrastinates? Confess to me. Now I want to share some latest science in the field of procrastination with you. And it's a little bit scary. So the first study is about TikTok. TikTok algorithm is as addictive as crack cocaine. Good news. We are giving this to our kids. Second study is about mental health. They did in 2023 the most extensive study about kids' mental health in my country. And they did a research on tens of thousands of 18 years old, and the outcome, 30 to 40% of them had symptoms of mild or major depression. And I think that those things are connected. I wrote my book about procrastination 10 years ago. Back then, it was very easy to focus. No distractions.
Where's the book?
In my bag. And then we can exchange our books. So back then, there were not that many distractions. So it was easy to write and to stay focused. But now with all those algorithms that are AI-based, it's so difficult. And it's getting worse and worse. So TikTok, as I said, is as addictive as crack cocaine. Now all those other networks are copying the same system. They are TikTokized. So for example, my sister, she has 2 kids, 10 years old and 12 years old. And she told me like, oh, it's great. My kids are not using TikTok. They are just on YouTube. Well, YouTube Shorts is just the exact copy of TikTok. Instagram and Facebook Reels, and again, the same copy of TikTok. So this is a huge problem, and it has huge impact on mental health. And we have some other studies on fMRI that if you do brain scans to those kids, you can see differences. Those algorithms can rewire our brains. Isn't that scary? So I think that this is going to be a huge problem for the modern workspace because those kids can't focus longer than a few seconds because they can't swipe their teachers. What is the solution? Well, in the US this week they are trying to ban TikTok, but I think that this is not a solution because those other networks are the same. So, do you have any ideas how to solve this problem? Well, maybe we should talk about how we can resist all those temptations to procrastinate. You can check, if you have iPhone, you can check how many hours daily you spend on your phone. Any volunteer here? 6 hours. 10 on TikTok. Well, for me, I'm creator. I'm influencer. I have huge social networks, so I have to be there. So it's not about to go like digital detox or cold turkey and not to be there. I want to share some tips on how to stay focused in the 21st century, in the era of algorithms. Third thing, especially for creators, if you need to be on social media because you have your audience there, or you want to sell your books, or you have your podcast that you want to promote there. The golden rule for creators is to create and not to consume. So I use all those social media, but if I'm there, I'm creating something. I'm giving my audience some value. I'm trying not to consume because when you consume, the algorithm is getting better and better in terms of knowing what to serve you to make you even more addicted. And there is a beautiful term that is called cheap dopamine. Dopamine is a substance in our brain. And basically, we have one pool of dopamine in the morning. And if you drain your dopamine on social media, then you miss the dopamine for meaningful activities. So you are less focused, you are demotivated, you have problems with your sleep. So the second main advice how to stay focused is do not drain your dopamine during the day on social media. So especially in the morning. So never use social media like 1 or 2 hours after waking up. Because like if you drain your dopamine, then you ruin the whole day. So if you have to be on social media, go there to create and set the exact hour, like after 6 p.m. That's the best because your main work is done and then you can drain the rest of your dopamine there. But do not drain your dopamine during the day. And the third tip is sometimes we have meetings and during those meetings we have some breaks, like 15 minutes break, 30 minutes break. And a lot of people, they think that if they go to social media, they can rest. No, it's just the exact opposite. Like if you have a meeting and you sit on a bench and basically doing nothing, your dopamine recovers. But if you go during those meetings on social media, you can drain the dopamine even more. So if you want to stay focused during the day, if you want to be more creative, well, save your dopamine for those meaningful activities. So this is truly a challenging era. Let me sum up. So we live in the world that is full of those algorithms that are trying to steal our attention. They are getting better in stealing our dopamine. And at the end, there is a huge risk, and it's a mental health. So we know that we have huge mental health issue with kids, like 30 to 40% of young people have signs of depression. So this is truly scary. And I think that the main solution is to have a self-discipline to spend our dopamine wisely. So this is the topic of my new book that I want to write in the future, because writing a new book about procrastination and to procrastinate it is twice painful, especially I'm using all those social media. But this was my today's talk. So I wanted to inspire you a little bit and help you to be more wise spenders of your dopamine. Thank you so much.
So much. So let's not procrastinate the next speech. We have somebody who is currently pursuing a master's in science in healthcare management. She has received gold and silver commendations from the armed forces and has been in healthcare for 29 years. She works with multiple generations in the award-winning healthcare department. The speech title, What a Wonderful World. Let us welcome Ms. Rajlakshmi.
She's going to sing us a song. By who? I think.
This time is going to change a bit. I have to change a bit. Story have to change a bit. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, and thank you everyone for this opportunity to hear my story. There's a reason why I chose that title. And someone was nice enough to say, yes, it's from a song. And see, many years ago, that was like when I was in primary school, primary 6, my classmates were told to present the science project. Geography project. And geography being my weakest, I had to do something different. What I did, I took a ball, I painted like to look like the earth, and I presented the class and talked to them about the ozone layer. You see, we had this problem many years ago, and now we still have the same problem. What got me curious is because why is this happening to Mother Earth? Don't worry, I'm not talking about Gaia today. We have enough every day. But what the intention is that when I do it again, try to do it, then after that I forgot all about it. Then I took the courage, try another ball, and did the paintings and all that. Somehow it didn't turn out. So I realized one thing. If you do one time, get it right the first time round. So what prompted me to come back after many rounds of speech day? I believe this is not my first. And it's because I'm very passionate about telling everyone what I stand for. And specifically, what I like to tell the world is that the world has gone through a lot. Ups and downs and everything and everywhere. But what makes us keep going is the same thing, you know? Instead of looking at hate, we look at love. We turn enemies to friends. The only thing that keeps us going on again, battling the next best thing is because we feel there is still hope. You know, that's what Earth, what's my story is all about, hope. Because without hope, nothing moves. I'm not going to mention that, it's like what is going on right now. I think all of us are aware what's going on right now in the world. What's more important is we still battle it out and wake up the next day and still feel there is still hope that things will be better. Instead of going over venting over the same old thing over and over again, it's a new sun, it's a bright day. Things might change. And what I feel that this world, we got something to give it back as well. Kind deeds. We can't save everyone, but we can make another person's day. Like how once I was the bus driver was nice enough, during the pandemic, nice enough, woke me up and even showed me the way out of the depot. So it was a lady driver. So the lady driver was nice, that I'll never forget. So what I did 2 weeks ago, I saw a guy sleeping on the bus. I said, hey, wake up. So I didn't have a chance to return back the favor to the lady driver, but I did my part to do a kind gesture. It's little gestures that makes the place something to live for. Yes, there are a lot of things going on, a lot of complaints, a lot of what have not, but at least we got something to look forward to the next day. And not to mention the fact that when I was doing my university program, after a very long Zoom session, I zoned out. I almost slept. So I had nothing better to do. I went to YouTube, started listening to music. And this bunch of Navy men, they were singing, "What a Wonderful World." And I was very tired. And I was like, "What a wonderful world." Then I was thinking to myself, and you may only know the US Navy for their braveries and their victories around the world. You know that they are also very good singers there. So you never know. And this is from one of their history in the US. And I was like amazed by this YouTube. Then after that, I calmed down the heavy session. Then I realized that, wow, what a wonderful world. If only we stand a chance to pause. I'm not asking to smell flowers here all the time, but as I said, if you at least look at them, the nearby flowers, just pause a bit. Look at the nature of it. If only we just take the time to pause a bit. I pause when I take a picture of flowers. And when you think you have enough of flowers, that's when you count a multitude of them. It comes in different varieties and different species. I didn't know. Not only roses. I'm not asking you to smell roses, but there are lots of other flowers around. The nature's around, which is more intriguing. And for me, that's where I relax. And not to mention, I took up violin, English violin, and when I play Odi Joy, one of the legends under the Beethoven, one of the masters, I feel honored. I got a chance to play one of the masters. Odi Joy number 9, Beethoven. I'm amazed I could even do it. Pick up something which, the message, what I'm trying to say is pick up something which you like. We are here for a limited time. I know music when I used to be in the choir many years ago. But now, ever since the mask, can't talk, right? So play lah. I took out violin back and never been happier. Tomorrow still got violin class. So I feel like a first grader, it's like, I just changed my strings and I feel so happy about it. It's something that keeps me going in the midst of whatever is going on. So it's like, and mind you, I broke my violin and I sat on it. One fine day after a Zoom session, Zoom session, I sat on it and I said, my heart just broke. So what do I do? My recital is in like 2 weeks' time. Never mind. Pause. Breathe. Go and get a new violin. No choice. I got a student violin, student rate. I feel like a student all the time. And I took the violin and I started practicing. The strings was off, everything was off. My recital a bit haywire. My lucky thing is my teacher was patient with me. She said, never mind, just go to the recital. And I was panicking here. Ever since I broke my violin, then she said, never mind. Then subsequently, just only I recently changed the strings. And my music teacher also changed the strings. I was like, okay. But now we are having duo sessions together. And we record things together. And she's asking me to find songs. I'm like, okay, I shall try, but it's not easy to find songs. Do something you like. Be it reading, be it playing the violin, being photography. I love photography. My phone is full of photography. I'm slave to my phone because of two things. One is pictures and one is photography. That's how my battery depletes faster than usual. So although we are surrounded by technology, forever succumb to it, but do something which you like. You know, like that's going to keep the soul going. That's what they call it. And in the long run, you never know who you're going to impact. You never know. You wish the world another wonderful world. Of course, you must also keep this going. It's a light bulb. It's reusable, so environmental friendly. Get ideas going as well, because it is this going to challenge you. This is going to make you as well. Thank you.
That was an interesting surprise. For the next speaker, we have the founder of Desert Roses Yoga Dance. She is an engineering PhD dropout, a belly dancer, and passionately promoting dance and yoga for women's wellness, especially health and fitness. We have a lady who is going to speak about following your passion and you will find your purpose to serve the community. Let us welcome Lily Shi.
Thank you, dear Madam MC and fellow speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is my first speech. I haven't done my icebreaker, so let me start. When I was a little child, I was very active. I liked all kinds of sports. Table tennis was my favorite. At the age of 17, I was slim, energetic, and confident. And boys started to chase me, and I didn't know why because I was very innocent. 1 year later, boys started to leave me. I didn't know why. Then I found out one thing. I became so wrong. And the worst thing is, I lost my confidence and energy. I was so upset. I decided I have to have a change. Back in 1996, there was no internet. I couldn't access any knowledge of losing weight properly. So I tried all kinds of wrong things. I skipped meals and ended up overeating because I didn't know what to eat in the end. I also tried to run at night alone, and I really hated that. I failed almost 6 years until I came to Singapore to do my master's degree in engineering. One night, a friend invited me to Clarke Quay just to have fun with friends. In front of the bar, one Singaporean friend started to just dance with the band. I was so overwhelmed. I don't know, just a joy came into my heart and then came out. I just joined her and started to dance around. We were so happy. I didn't know that moment my life changed. Of course, I only realized that a few years later. After that, I started to learn dance. I searched for the classes. I actually took a few classes from this friend from the beginning. Then I also joined other courses from other teachers. I even attended workshops overseas just to learn belly dancing, Middle Eastern dance. I loved it so much that I danced too much. I became so focused and passionate. I found my boyfriend on the dance floor because by then I lost my weight and found back my confidence again. I danced too much until I quit my PhD. I started my performing business. I got married. And then I loved it so much. Of course, my family were against that in the beginning, but then later, they couldn't do anything. They just accepted it. When I got my first child, it was like magic. Just during a hospital visit, a girl just sitting next to me started to chat with me. And she told me she could dance. And we started to chat just so passionately about dancing. And she became the first instructor of my studio. One thing attracted another, one person attracted other people, one thing lead to other things. My studio grew and so many instructors, we had many instructors and we started to influence more and more people. And we found so many women with the same passion in dancing and learning. We formed a community. We found connection, confidence, and fulfillment. And then, when I had my third child, I got a postnatal depression so seriously. I even wanted to commit suicide constantly. I got over on that later. By that time, I decided to give back all my energy into my studio work again. And through the work, I got back my energy and also found my passion again. And during those times, I also found so many women share the same journey with me, going through pregnancy and postnatal depression. And we shared how we found the passion in dancing. And during the dancing, we had a community of communication, connection, and fulfillment. We forgot all of the depression and all of the unhappy feelings during the learning and sharing. It was my passion. The passion was the key word to save me and to lead me to my purpose of serving so many women with the same passion. Looking back for the past 20 years of doing the belly dancing, and now we've expanded to yoga as well. And we shared many passion in dancing and sports and yoga movements with many clients. I'm very grateful. So I have found my passion and that passion lead to my purpose of serving. How about you? Have you found yours? If not, I encourage all of you to find your own passion because passion will lead you to your purpose and to let you share and to let you join and fund your community, and even form your own community. And the world will become better and happier. Thank you.
The next speaker is a firm believer for this quote. While most of us may have entered Toastmasters to learn to make speeches, the benefit is just the beginning of the good which may come to us and the good which we may do for mankind, by Ralph C. Smedley. She hopes to be a channel of that good in her role as the current growth director in District 80. Her speech title is, Are Women Heard? Are Women Heard? Let us warmly welcome Miss Sharon Kang.
Oh, really?
Just a few days ago, I was in a mall, in the washroom, and I saw this mom with two young daughters hurrying to the toilet. So she was expecting the two girls to finish and let's go. However, the elder one, about 6 years old, as any 6-year-old would do, was asking all kinds of questions. So what did the mom do? She said, shut up. Shut up, she said repeatedly and harshly. Oh, I was taken aback. But I recall the uncountable times that we girls were told to keep quiet, shut up. And girls were expected to be nice, gentle, and be quiet. From young, women are socialized to be less direct and assertive than men. Do you all agree? We are told to be polite, accommodating, avoid conflict, defer to others. So it's very difficult for us women to be assertive and to stand up for ourselves and to speak for ourselves. Especially in a situation when we are outnumbered or when there's power imbalance. The woman here, have you ever been spoken over in meetings? Okay, we have strong women here. Or have some of your ideas in the meeting taken credit by other people? Sometimes. This is not just from a personal experience, but in many research, like the one done by McKinsey. They did a survey of 329 over companies around the world with 69 or 68,000 staff, employee around the world. And they found out that half the women surveyed had people interrupt them when they speak in meetings, and also their ideas taken credit by others. Not just this survey, but even in Harvard Business Review. When a woman shows passion for certain ideas or opinion, the male counterpart perceives them as being too emotional. And of course, men and women, we communicate differently. For men, they tend to be very direct. Whereas women, we tend to be indirect. In fact, we tend to be self-deprecating when we speak. And for women, we tend to use talk to maintain relationship. And how about the men? They use talk to exert their dominance. Women tend to use meta messaging, indirect. Whereas men, very direct. And men and women tend to speak in smaller groups. to build rapport, whereas men tend to speak more, tend to be loud, sometimes critical, to be seen as authoritative. So these are natural, but these differences are not helping the woman. In fact, there are more challenges than just this. Physical challenges, for example, women are usually towered over by men. And of course, men are stronger. In fact, in their vocal cord as well. Loud, low, strong voice. But should we let all these obstacles, differences, challenges take the voices away from women? No, of course not. Because we have as much to offer to the table as them. And women should be accorded the same respect as men. When women's voices are heard, it helps in better and more effective decision making. So, what should we do? Is it an uphill climb for a woman? Before I joined Toastmasters, maybe even now, I'm quite soft-spoken, a bit shy, and in my report card, the teacher will always say, quiet girl, reserve, speak more, etc., etc. But I found my voice. I realized through Toastmasters and other platforms that actually there are techniques we can learn. And let me offer 3 techniques or 3 tips that I actually learned and constantly reminding myself. I call this the 3 V. First, know your value. All of us women has value and we can bring very important messages to our audience. That's 1. 2, even if you don't feel like it, you can actually look confident. Strike a victorious pose. Even putting your hand on your hip. That will make you even more confident. Of course, if you want to, you can do this or this. And instantly you feel more confident. So having that victorious pose. And the 3rd V is your voice. Women tend to speak in a higher pitch, faster, and sometimes our messages can't get across to the audience. So what should we do? Lower our pitch, slow down our pace, use pauses when needed. Then our message will come across loud and clear. Am I just talking about this just for the sake of the World Speech Day? No. I am planning a all-women's Toastmasters Club so that women can come together to encourage one another, learn from one another, support each other to find our voice. The next time when we women are told to shut up, no, we take our stand, know our value, and speak up.
You more. Right? Oh, woman can tell men scared of you, know, right?
The next speaker loves life and lives it to the fullest. She tends to make a difference in the lives of others, even though she doesn't even realize it. Her speech title is All It Takes is the First Step. All it takes is the first step. Let us welcome Anne Tate. A warm applause.
I don't know so much, but I never met her. Now I know.
So now you have. Thank you for having me. Well, when I was first asked to speak at the World Speech Day about my life story, I'm like, what is it about my life that's so interesting that people really want to know? I'm just me. Well, a couple of things that I've made an impact, although I didn't really notice. as I was growing up. One was that when I was a student in school, I failed maths all my life. Was an F9 student. And one day my teacher sat me down and she said, "Anne, you just need to sit and you need to practice math. Do your math consistently and do it. Don't forget." So I took her advice and I sat down every day without fail, did my math. And lo and behold, I had an A2 for my math during O levels. Everyone rejoiced. Eventually, I went on to take a mechanical engineering diploma with sponsored by the Air Force, right? Little me knowing nothing in the Air Force. Eventually, after many years of my life, I realized that my greatest gift was the gift. My greatest strength was the strength for the love of learning. I never knew that. Then it dawned on me that was the reason why I eventually got not just my mechanical engineering diploma, I had the one in graphic design. I went on to do a financial planning certification. I went on to do my finance degree. I went on to do my MBA. Not because my life coaching certification, right? I became a swim coach. And you wonder, right? Like, what's she doing with her life? I have never really made real money from any of these, but
not supposed to make money.
but just I realized it was my love for learning, and at every moment, at every step I had to take, it was something I was interested in. Now, as I went along, I'm what is known as a floater. I don't really have a goal in my life. I just float. You know, hey, okay. Somebody will say, "Let's do this." I'm like, okay, we'll try. But as I grew older, I had this. I became an adrenaline junkie. So at the ripe old age of 21, after I broke up with my first love, I felt life was too boring, and I went to become a scuba diver. Wow! Eventually, you know, getting myself a rescue diver cert. And they were saying, "Why a rescue diver?" I thought, why not a rescue diver? So what's up next? Maybe I might do a master diver. I don't know. But like I said, I'm a floater. That's one. Number two, eventually I got married. I became a mom, and then I looked at my kids. And social media, somebody mentioned about social media being toxic. It is. It came to a point where I had my kids and I looked at them. I was like, why can't you do as great as the rest of them? Like my friends' kids, oh, they're getting all kinds of certs and stuff. And I asked them, really, do you want extra lessons? No. Do you want to play? Yes. Okay, let's play. But one thing, learn to fail. Learn to fail early. So when you learn to fail early, you pick up yourself, you take the first step. Right? You take the first step in getting to know yourself, getting to know your strength, acknowledging your weaknesses and trying to change that into strength. So as I went along, the kids were growing up and stuff like that. Everyone else, I went down the corporate path, still wondering what to do, still not knowing what to do. And along the way, my parents started a little charity thing to feed people. Today, they feed about 10,000 people. And to me, that's just family, isn't it? That's what we have always been doing. I don't know anything other than what they have done. And so I went along helping them help people. Today, I am in the process of creating something, a portal that will enable businesses to be actively involved in a CSR movement, such that they can help charities and allow people in general like yourself to be easily part of the whole ecosystem of giving. Ultimately, at the end of the day, my topic for today, or rather my title was actually taking the first steps. Now, I didn't plan any of this. My parents didn't plan starting a charity. I didn't plan on an MBA. I just took my first step. Okay. What really happened that made this week significantly interesting is this. I just submitted Mount Kinabalu on Monday. I took that first step because one, I'm getting younger. I feel more energetic.
You're 19, right?
I'm 19, about 19 years, about that. And there were issues, health issues that were popping up. And I told myself, you know, before I hit a particular age, which I will not reveal, but a particular milestone in my whole life, I was going to do something that was significant. In my case, it was a physical challenge of climbing Mount Kinabalu. And with that, I hope that my little life story will inspire you to take your first step in achieving any of your goals. Even though if you're a floater, even though you're a dreamer like me, we can all make a difference in the lives of the people around us and our own lives. Thank you very much.
Wow.